So
Thank you.
that's
Hello,
for you.
everybody. Hello, everyone.
We are Kian. It's my first time to take part in an online art course. Welcome. Beautiful to have you here. We have hellos from Portugal, from Cassia. We have Joanna from France. We have hellos from Canada, from Farida. We have hellos from Terolyn from Maine. We have more hellos from Canada, Berlin, Dubai, Germany, Italy. Oh,
From
beautiful,
the world.
Kian. We have hellos from Valencia, Italy, uh, Tennessee, California, Bulgaria, Russia, Finland, New Jersey, Denmark, Toronto, Romania, Utah, Deutschland, Romania, Portugal. Wonderful to have all of you here. So, we are super happy to have you here, Javid, and this is morning for you.
Yeah, hello, everyone. Yeah, this is 10 a.m. the morning. Rainy day in Vancouver.
Wonderful. And today we will paint together. Can you share in your own words, Javid, what we will do together when we paint?
Yeah, today I'm going to paint this one, uh, like landscape, a cloudy scene, and like some boat. An interesting technique because I'm going to paint how you can paint the clouds, cloudy scene, and river scene actually. It's nice, warm colors and gray and warm colors. It's good experience for today painting.
Thank you so much for that. It's going to be beautiful. And let me also share what we are going to do today more specifically because we will be painting this, which is a free online workshop with Javid. We can all either say Javid Tabai or we can say Javid Tabai. And
Or you can say only Javid is enough.
oh, Javid, yes. So we will focus on atmospheric landscape in watercolor, which is so beautiful. That is Javid's specialty. We will spend maybe 1.5, maybe 2 hours together. We never know exactly how long in advance, so we are just open for what happens. And make sure to use the chat. We will answer some questions along the way. We will also answer some of them at the very end where we have a Q&A part. And if this is your first time with us, we highly recommend that you watch it and then paint it later. But if you want to, you can always paint along now. Just be aware that it can be very tricky to keep up with a tutor when you cannot pause and do it at your own pace. So be kind with yourself if you paint along with Javid right now and here. So today we will learn how to build depth through correct value planning and layered washes. We will understand how to paint natural textures with confidence, grasses, marsh plants, shoreline transitions. It's going to be wonderful. And gain a professional method for combining sky, water, and land into one harmonious composition. And we also have a launch of Javid's brand new course with a very, very good price right now. And if you want to learn even more from Javid, you can do that as well. And join us now if you are curious to learn more from Javid. And then at the very end, we have a Q&A session for all of the questions that have not been answered along the way. And this workshop is a perfect fit for you if you want to learn to paint dramatic skies without harsh lines or dirty edges, or dry edges for that matter. Or if you struggle with realistic reflections and want a simple method to paint calm water. If you love atmospheric landscapes and want to bring more emotion and depth into your works. If you wish to paint natural textures and you want that to be both expressive but a bit controlled. And you want to understand how to paint boats with natural light, structure and weather character. And also if you seek peaceful yet inspiring creative a session guided by an award-winning master. This is also a wonderful fit for you. And if you're here, you probably are here because you love watercolor and because you want to grow and learn more with clarity, confidence, and joy. And today we'll paint with someone whose method helps with exactly that. So let me welcome and introduce you to Javid Tabai or Javid Tabai. He is an artist who has been painting for more than 20 years, has participated in group as well as solo exhibitions all around the globe, and his exhibitions have been held in a number of leading galleries, contemporary art foundations in both China, Turkey, Italy, Pakistan, Serbia, Japan, Canada, and more. And he hosts both in-person and online workshops, and we are super grateful to have him here with us. Here are some of his artworks. This is actually what we're going to paint today. And we see some other beautiful landscapes here. And Javid, when I watch your artworks, I feel you have strong connection to nature and strong connection to the energy of nature. Would you say you agree with that?
Yeah, actually, when I came to the Canada, I use a lot of colors, and I use I prefer to paint landscape with the strong colors. Yeah.
Wonderful. Let me share some more information for those of you who are new to Javid. We also want to share that his poetic style, masterful control of atmosphere, and super inspiring live demos have made him a key figure of the Artefacto platform. And he has inspired so many people to paint in this fresh, atmospheric, vibrant style, and it's so beautiful to see the different examples that our students share from his teachings. And here are some more of Javid's artworks, and as you can see, he's a master of light and also of how to choose color. And we're going to talk about both to master light and shadow, so the value, and then how to choose to let color add emotion to that. Those are some things that we're going to explore today together. And Javid's signature method that we're going to explore in this course that he has just created is simple yet very powerful. First, focus on tone, so the difference between light and dark, and then focus on atmosphere, and then focus on color for emotion. So that's something we're going to explore, and I'm super excited to hear and see and learn more from you about that, Javid. And this method is so wonderful because it removes the chaos of color, it gives clarity in composition, helps avoid muddiness, builds instant depth, and creates atmosphere even in simple scenes. And many of our students have told us in interviews, I can paint, but something is missing the mood and the depth. Or I want to paint more freely without fear, and my works feel flat even if the reference is beautiful, or I'm afraid to ruin the painting with details. And Javid's approach solves exactly these struggles and pains quickly, gently, and clearly. And today you're going to explore and discover that for yourself. So we're super excited to be part of this journey together with all of you. And today, it's more than a workshop, it's also introducing a brand new course by Javid that is opening up today with a very special prize, as I shared previously. And if you're ready to start painting, you can put a plus in the chat because it's time to gather our energy to start painting this beautiful, beautiful scene. So I'm going to hand it over to you now, Javid, and it's time for the first painting part.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Today, we are going to paint this one. I'm going to paint this subject, a easy technique, and I hope you can paint with me. Before I paint, I introduce my materials. Today I use artist paper 140 lb cold press. This is good paper for today painting. And if you want to know which paper is good, I explain about the paper. Sanders paper, 140 cold press. I like to paint with Sanders paper, artist paper, Winsor Newton paper, and also honey mole. These are paper, my favorite paper that I use. The colors, I use the Shinhan brand and Daniel Smith watercolors. Like This is Shinhan brand, TWC. And also I use Daniel Smith. Yeah, these are my favorite colors. My palette brand Shinhan. Also, it's like a melamine. The quality is melamine. It's not plastic, and it's very good quality for watercolor. I use a calligraphy brush. You can, if you want to know which brand I use, some of them is calligraphy, is like Chinese brand. I don't know the name, but this is from Ruhan brand. This calligraphy. This is very good and very high quality of the calligraphy brush. If you want to buy this one, Rohan brand, and also I have a like Fumo brand. This is a good calligraphy brand, calligraphy brush. If you want to buy, these are good quality. And I use fan brush. And again, this calligraphy brush, I don't want to use a lot of brush actually. Round brush number 6, this one, and round brush. Uh, this is round brush number 4. And this one is a synthetic brush, number 4, and number 6 is actually these are natural hair. And maybe I need to use this rigger brush or liner brush. This is okay. The black one is Coroplast. It's very good for if you want to paint wet on wet. This is like the plastic, and the name is Coroplast. Okay, maybe I need to use this palette knife. Yes, to scratch the paper. Maybe we need to use this one, or you can use your finger if you want to use. Okay. At first, I do a sketch. Let me get. This is the horizon line. It's not middle of the paper. A little bit. You can paint upper. This is the horizon line, and here I'm going to paint. I'm going to do a reference photo here. Okay. I'm going to paint this leg. This part is good part to paint both. Let me, I do the sketch for both after I paint. I paint, I do some mountain in here and the clouds in here. This is very simple sketch. I do only the important line is this horizon line. This part is enough to show the sky. This part, and here to show the light and river or lake. Okay. And my paper is dry, and I use Jean Valerian from Shinhan brand. If you don't have a Jean Valerian, you can use Chinese white and raw sienna. You can mix Chinese white and raw sienna, or you can mix Chinese white and yellow ochre to create this Jean Valerian. Very interesting colors to show the sky, to show the light in the afternoon, actually, or in the sunset. Yeah, this is my paper is dried. I directly use the Jean Valerian, and I use, you can see, I use pigment. This is pigment, not watery. This is a strong pigment. I use a strong pigment in here. And now I use lavender again. You can see mix of lavender and Jean Valerian. It's good, very good combination of the color to show the sky. Yeah, this is it's very simple. And in the bottom of the mountain, in this side, I prefer to add a little bit lavender also in this part. Mix of lavender and Jean Valerian, actually. Yeah, this is very good. If you don't have a calligraphy brush, you can use like round brush number 6. Actually, this is a Russia brush, and the number 6 is like bigger size. It's big size. Look like, for example, I have a number 6 round brush, but this is uh, very small. But this is a little bit big size. Good. Uh, I need to paint. I want to paint the clouds, but right now the color is too much white, and I should wait for my paper to absorb water on it. After that, I will continue. Or you can use hair dryer. If you want to use hair dryer, you don't need to dry it completely your paper. Just it's better to be damp paper, not dry paper. But this part is small, and the size of the paper is 20 and 30 centimeter. It's very small paper, and you don't need to use a hair dryer to uh, keep like damp paper, not dry paper. Actually, yes, the time is good. I use a lavender and a little bit burnt sienna to keep warm sky, and little bit Pins gray. 3 colors I use. You can see I use the pigment and less water on my brush. This is very good. Okay. I start to paint the clouds here. Yeah. The clouds going to this way, to this side. You can see my paper is not completely dry, and it's not very wet. Because of this, the clouds, it doesn't blend everywhere. It's this part. Actually, this cloud uh, comes down. It looks like the focal point, this area. You can see the third of the paper. This edge is very good to show the focal point, like the clouds is like here, and some lighter clouds. Pay attention to the perspective of the clouds. This cloud's going to this area, and this cloud's like the horizon. It's not angle. Yeah, this is. It look like the the clouds is going to this area to here. Or if you want to put the uh, sunset, moon or sun, you can add the sun here. Okay, this is uh, the sky and clouds. Very. I use this brush is not very wet. Your brush have full of water, the water comes into your paper, and your paper is going to destroy it. You should use damp brush and strong pigment. You can see my palette is not very wet. Yeah, this is good. colors to paint the sky and clouds. To paint the clouds, if you use a natural hair brush or calligraphy brush, it's very good to paint the clouds. If you use synthetic brush, the tip of the brush is very stiff and it's not good to paint clouds because I'm going to show the soft edge to show the clouds. It's not hard edge. Okay, this is sky and clouds. Now I'm going to paint the mountain in distance. You can add a little bit turquoise blue, and burnt sienna. This is very good colors. Mix of lavender, turquoise blue, and burnt sienna, and also I have a little bit Jean Valerian. This is I prepared before. Okay, now I do this one. A little bit. This edge is wet, and you can see the mountain blending to the sky, and it's nice. Some hard edge, like this side is a hard edge, and some soft edge to show the distance. It's a very good time to paint the mountain. And here I'm going to add like darker mountain, turquoise, and burnt sienna, pin's gray, little bit pin's gray. This side I'm going to add darker mountain. The bottom of the mountain, I prefer to use like warmer and darker. You can use pin's gray, burnt umber. Pin's gray and burnt umber. A little bit turquoise. Most of time you can see I use pigment and less water on my brush. Here, I use more stronger colors. Here, you can see I have a different contrast between the mountain. The bottom of the mountain, in here I have darker colors, and I use in this side I use a strong pigment. This side, and also I use this mountain here, like good. You can see the contrast between the mountain, like this mountain is background, and this one is like more closer to us. We have contrast between the mountain and yeah, this is good to show the sky, to show the clouds and the mountain in distance. Now, if you want to continue to paint the add colors to show the sea, you can use a hair dryer, or if you use a hair dryer, maybe these colors blend to the sky because here it's very wet. If you wait, you don't rush. If you wait for your paper to dry it itself is better. Or you can add water, you can add color here and don't go up. For example, this line is a light to show the sea between the mountain and river. I use again Jean Valerian here, and I prefer to keep this light between the mountain and sea because I don't want to use a hair dryer. Yeah, I use Jean Valerian. In this part, if my brush connect to the here is okay, don't worry about that. Just this part to show the sea, don't touch this line. Okay, I add Jean Valerian here. Jean Valerian here with the round brush. You can see this side to show the sea light. And now again, I use a lavender. The same color that I used for the sky, I use for the to show the sea or lake. Okay, in the bottom of the paper, I use more lavender. And in this side, I prefer to keep only Jean Valerian. And if you want to show the, actually this is the lake, it's not the sea. But if you want to show the ripples in the sea, you can add only like this technique. Only you can use like tip of the brush and you can add this ripples in this side. Okay. Let me use more lavender here. Yeah. This is very nice combination of the color. Or if I prefer to add a little bit warm colors, strong colors for the bottom of the uh, lake in here, I add a little bit Pins Gray and lavender. Or you can use indigo. Indigo and lavender, this one. This is like a little bit stronger colors in the bottom of the paper. To connect, if you see the reference photo, to connect the grasses and the sea colors, if you add a little bit warm colors like burnt sienna in here is not bad. You can see very good colors. Okay, this is my first wash. Actually, I did the mountain, the clouds, the sky, and I added sea colors or lake colors. Only before dry this part, I'm going to add a mountain reflection in the water. You can see the reference photo, but in the reference photo, I see very warm, very strong colors for the mountain scene. Because the mountain that I did here, I did very fade mountain, but in the reference photo, you can see the soft, the hard edge between the mountains. To show the distance, I prefer to do the mountain very fade. But for previous one, I did before painting here, I did a strong line for the mountain, even the mountain in distance. But today I'm going to show this mountain very fade to show more distance, to show more far. Because of this, I'm going to paint the mountain a little bit, the mountain reflection, actually, the mountain reflection mix of lavender and and turquoise, and a little bit light. This is good. I think it's enough for now, and I should wait for my this these colors, lake colors, let dry. After that, I'm going to add grasses, and I'm going to paint again the boat to the sketch, the boat perspective. Anna, this is, I think I should wait for my paper to dry. If you want to continue, it's a good time. And after that, I will continue.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And if
Thank
anyone
you.
had any questions about this process, please share that in the chat so we can answer all of the questions that come up. So beautiful and fascinating to see how you choose your colors. And when I see this one, let me share my screen so we can see the next slide here. We see that it's a little bit the same colors here. Do you know if
Yeah,
you use
yeah.
the same colors?
Yeah, the background is like a Jean Valerian, a mix of raw sienna and lavender. So the lighting distance. Yeah. And also for the building, I use more uh, cobalt blue, lavender, burnt umber, yeah, and turquoise, yeah, these colors.
Ah, so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And we have some different different examples here, which is great. And it's not, as you can see, the most important thing is not that the lines are perfect. It was not like Javid was super careful to get all of the lines in the perfect spot. It's instead the focus were on the light and the colors and the edges, that they were a bit soft
Mhm.
but not too soft. So the technique that helps build the technique, the colors that build atmosphere, that was the main focus. And if we follow that sequence one step at a time, it turns out beautifully, as we have seen with so many student paintings. And now when we let this dry and also let you finish, we're gonna discover some more things that we can learn from Javid. So what we're doing now is a small piece, and in the course that we're just launching right now, you will learn Javid's full tonal method, focusing specifically on tone, step by step, calmly and with clarity. And as you can see here, it is more about atmosphere and light and dark and energy than the details, but there are details, and knowing when to put what details on is part of what we learn from Javid. So welcome to the brand new online course with Javid, Monochrome and Color Accents. And this course will suit both beginners and experienced artists who struggle with flat or washed out paintings and want to make their scenes feel richer and more alive. And also for artists who want to want to know how to guide the eye, set the mood, and avoid muddy results, with one intentional color accent as one of those keys. And if you're looking for more experience in dealing with tone, creating depth, 3D effect, working with perspective, and also building tonal contrasts, and for artists who want to learn how to build atmosphere through tone, creating a sense of mystery and lifting their work with a new level of elegant color accents. That is the theme of this course. And we're gonna walk through this so that you learn what this is about, and also so that we can be inspired by this process. And what you have created here, Javid, it is a course which focuses more on tone than on color, but there is an element of color in these paintings as well. So please share, what do we learn in
Mhm.
this first of those lessons?
Yeah. Actually, my goal is this. I want to paint with the students together, and I'm going to explain very simple. I'm going to explain very simple to do the painting together. This subject is have a interesting perspective. Actually, it's look like it's from this the reference photo from Pakistan. This is the bazaar in Trans Bazaar or alley in Pakistan. You can see the light and shadow, in the painting, and the focal point is like uh, how can I say the bike, I don't know the name, the carriage, it's carriage, I don't know, it's a red because I'm going to focus in the depth of the painting. I put the colors and you can see all the contrast, light and shadow together, and the end you can see the red colors, the focal point. It's very important for an artist to to focus in the focal point, and you don't pay attention to the details in the right, or to show the windows, some how many peoples we have in distance. Just focus in the focal point. Yeah, this is my idea, and I hope I can explain for you. Yeah,
This
I
is
use like
so helpful because we
monochrome.
can see here that there is so much happening. There's so many colors, there's so many details in the reference, and then you interpret this in a way that makes our brain understand this and capture the important aspects of this reference photo,
Yeah, yeah,
if you
this is
understand that.
nice subject to practice cityscape. And all of the people have a problem to use the colors. If you use a lot of colors, maybe the people can't continue with you. For example, today painting, I use 3 or 4 colors. I didn't use a lot of colors to paint a painting. Because of this, you can continue with me step by step. Yeah.
So good. And then we move on to this misty waterways, so tranquil atmosphere. Here we have a little bit more color, but here as well we see that it's more focused on the energy, the atmosphere, building the contrasts, but adding a little bit of color that gives that magic feeling to it. Can you share what we learn in
Yeah,
misty waterways?
yeah, as the same technique I said before, to show the light, to show the contrast between the light and the focal point. You can see in this inside the bridge, the lightest color is that you can go in the depths of the painting, and the right side the building and the left side the building, I did like half building and without details, because I'm going to focus in the depths of the painting. I did some light, some red colors to help us to go in the depth painting. And the important thing, the boats in the light, you can see all details help us to go to depth of this painting. This is my goal. This is uh, my idea. I don't want to paint focus in the details. I want to show you the light and shadow, the painting with a simple way.
Thank you so much for that. And if anyone feels like they have been a bit scared of painting buildings, I think this is such a great course because it focuses on the important things without overwhelm, and it creates such a beautiful end result. And here as well, we can see that we could have probably gotten so confused with all of the details in this kind of image. But here we use perspective, different shapes, light and shadow, and it's so beautiful. Is there anything you want to share about the third lesson, Old Bazaar of Isfahan, a study in
Yeah,
light and texture? Because this
yeah,
also has some other things happening in it.
yeah. In this subject is very important. When you see the bazaar scene, you have a lot of details in the bazaar, a lot of stuff everywhere. You can see, and which subject is good to paint, and which subject you should disappear. You shouldn't paint. You can see for this painting the distance. We have like mosque in the distance with the simple line, only the shadow, not details, to show the distance. And the right side and the left side of the bazaar, you can see only the shadow, like mm, I don't remember the sunshine for the bazaar. How can I explain? Um, for, Sorry, my language is not good to explain the, some words. The stuff in the bazaar, it's like light and shadow, not a lot of detail, but you can see different contrast between the light and shadow. The distance shadow and the foreground the shadow is different.
Yeah.
And yeah, and especially the woman in the bazaar. Yeah, you can see this is the focal point actually. Very interesting contrast between of this woman and the light in the bazaar. This is very good experience. If you see the reference photo, you understand.
Wonderful.
Very difficult to paint, but I choose very simple way to paint it.
Such a good way of learning simplification and learning what is important. And we had a comment in the chat that a lot of your painting style looks like gouache, but I also see that it's like you use the transparency of watercolor in combination with opaque. So it's like the
Yeah.
dance between both of
Yeah,
them.
actually, the important thing. This is a sunset. This is a city in the sun. It's not rainy day. You can see the warm colors in the ground, warm colors and gray to show the warm situation in the bazaar. Yeah. The I use the cobalt turquoise, burnt umber, burnt sienna to show the shadow and light, especially warm light. Yeah.
Thank you. And then we have the fourth and final lesson. It's a beautiful scene here of a harbor at dusk, monochrome serenity in a very different composition. Lots of distant details that we can that leaves a lot for the imagination. And also here you also leave a lot for the imagination. And that is, I think, one of the reasons that this feels so mysterious and dream-like beautiful.
Yeah. This is China, the subject from China in Qingdao. You can see the reference photo, actually reference photo. It's not night time. I changed the time. Actually, the technique, like the 2-day technique that I did, you can see the top of the painting. I did the sky, the clouds, the details in distance. They like the similar, but it's nighttime. And to show the foreground in the left side, the building, I did only the shadow. You can see I didn't paint the windows details. When you focus in the painting, you see only colors, not details. And the important thing, the light, the moon in distance, the lightest part is the focal point. The boats and the moon, the lightest part is a focal point. And you see the perspective is a third of the paper is the focal point in the left side of the painting. This is a good practice for the wet on wet technique.
Thank you so much for taking us through that story, through these lessons. And so in this course, you will master full tonal planning, how to simplify any reference. And I think that is one of the things that can be so helpful if anyone is struggling with urban scenes or maybe have never tried it or tried and felt that this is a bit much. This is so good for that. And also how to create emotional depth, how to add accents without getting lost in too many accents or overworking, and also how to paint architecture, mist, reflections, dusk, and cultural atmosphere, because that's what this course entails, all of that together. So there are a lot of things you learn in this course. And the learning process works like that you can choose between 3 different plans. The standard plan is perfect for independent artists who enjoy learning at their own pace. That is basically that you get all of these lessons and you can watch them whenever you like at your own pace. The premium is for those who also want feedback and sense that someone actually watches and cares and gives you feedback, because this includes curator feedback on the course paintings. So that's a beautiful addition for you really have someone who is there to support you in growing and learning and getting to that next level. Then we have something very special. That is Javid Ultimate Collection, which is perfect for anyone who wants the full Javid experience. Because Javid has by now, wonderfully, we're super happy about that, created 5 courses. So this is 5 signature courses and a very beautiful bonus as well that we will talk about later. So if you want to learn even more than what we have talked about in this course, that is the one for you. So you can choose which one feels like the perfect fit for you. And here are the regular prices. So the course that we have talked about today costs $139 if you choose with feedback and also with this official certificate of completion. And if you choose the standard plan, so without the feedback, it's only $119. And the Javid's Ultimate Collection, you can get all of this experience at a regular price for $555, which is such a good, so much value for this price. However, right now we do have a discount. But before we continue, let me ask, who of you traveled with us during the Artefacto Time Machine event? If you did, please write a yes in the chat if you were there with us. It was such a creative festival energy in that, so we're super happy for anyone who did participate in that. So I'm gonna take a look at the chat in just a moment. However, regardless of if you were there or not, we are continuing that celebratory energy. So we are continuing this festival of generosity, inspiration, and artistic growth. And that's why we have something that we call the Black November. So we have prepared something very special. We have the brand new course launched as part of Black November so that you can enrich your artistic journey also today. So here are the prices that we have right now. So the full set with all of these 5 courses and an incredible bonus, only $249. So this is like a complete journey through different subjects, different colors, different scenes, such a beautiful journey. And this course with individual written feedback is $99 and the standard plan is $79. And it's a lifetime access to all of these. So it's pretty incredible. Let me see if we have Carrie joined us in the time machine. Wonderful to have you here as well, Carrie. And also pretty nice timing that we have a monochrome course or a monochrome inspired course released during Black November with a special Black celebratory prize. So we're very happy about that coincidence. And here is what you will paint with Javid along this journey. So you can see that if you feel that you have been struggling with getting urban landscapes and scenes to have a sense of freedom, air, atmosphere, clarity, and beauty, this course is such a beautiful fit for that. So see if you struggle with simplification of reference photos, this is such a beautiful course for that. If you want to achieve that sense of magic in your paintings, this is such a beautiful course for that. So if you want to continue your artistic celebration and learn Javid's full method, join the course by scrolling down and there will pop up a button that says join the course and you can click that and then you can choose the pricing plan that is the perfect fit for you. And now with that said, we're going to talk more afterwards, but now it's time to paint together. And after that, we will also share what's included in the complete collection. So that's what we have to look forward to, and also the Q&A. But before that, it's time to actually paint along with Javid and continue and complete this beautiful painting.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Actually, the paper is dried. And it's good time to continue to do this sketch, to paint the boat. This part, it's good. Paint the boat. Yes, this is good. This to paint the boat, you should do very good sketch. And when you sure about the perspective of the boat, after that you can paint it. Just I do this sketch. You can see the paper right, and I can do this sketch easily. Good. Here I'm going to add some grasses, and this side again some grasses here, and here I'm going to add colors. This is a good sketch. Good. It's perspective of the boat in here is very important. I hope you can do a sketch very carefully. This side. Now, I add a cobalt blue. Let me do the clean my palette. To paint the boat, actually you can see the lavender colors I did before for the boat, for the sea, and the same colors for the boat is okay, it's work. Just I add a little bit cobalt blue to the lavender, little bit different because here and here is the same. I prefer to add a little bit cobalt blue. It's a damp brush, watery, not pigment for this part. I use very watery. You can see when you add a little bit lavender and cobalt blue, you do very interesting colors for the to paint a boat. And yes, I add this blue colors in this side, and here. Cobalt blue and lavender, but you see I use very watery colors. Very damp brush, not too much watery. Okay, it's enough. Now I'm waiting for this part to dry. And I prefer to add the grasses and the ground. This part after that, I'm going to add details for the boat. Yeah. Permanent yellow orange, it's good colors. To paint a warm colors, and yellow ochre actually it's a good colors. You can see I use the pigment, a lot of pigment. I don't remember to say before you paint a watercolor, you should spray water on your colors half hour before you paint to be ready for pick up the paint from your palette. If your colors is too much dry, it's not good to, you can't pick up the colors. You can't use a lot of pigment. You can see my colors is ready because before I paint, I sprayed water on my palette. Now I use yellow ochre and the permanent yellow orange. And yes, this color here, you can see I use strong pigment. I'm going to add a little bit texture to show some details in distance. Yeah. And here, with my finger, I can blend the colors together. Yeah, olive green, if you want to add a olive green for this side, you can use, or if you don't have an olive green, you can use ultramarine blue. When you add ultramarine blue into the color, you can see you can prepare the same colors. Ultramarine blue, when you mix into the permanent orange and yellow ochre, you prepare like olive green. Actually, I prefer to mix the colors together to prepare my favorite colors. Okay, this side I use ultramarine blue mixed to the orange. This is ultramarine blue. With the round brush, I use the tip of the brush to paint. Some people use like this technique, and to paint this edge of the painting is not good. You should use the tip of the brush. And you can see to paint the grasses, I use only the tip of the brush, and my brush is not very wet. Add this reeds in here. or grasses in this side. You can see the texture I use. You can see the details. I use very dry brush, blue, orange, and yes, this is. My brush is not very wet. I use pigment for this side. And some shadow. You can use a burnt umber and ultramarine blue to make it darker colors. Burnt umber and ultramarine blue, it's good. You can see. Slowly, I'm going down. Like here, this side, to paint a boat, you should be sure this part have to be completely dry, this side, because I want to show this light very like hard edge. Okay, I use burnt sienna, burnt umber and ultramarine blue mix of orange. Yeah, and pay attention. For example, I want to prepare some dark colors here. Just I prepare the colors in here. I didn't mix the colors into all the orange that I did before. You know, I want to use, for example, I need to use the same colors next time, and I have here. Just you can see my palette. I put the colors only in this side to create a darker colors, and I don't add all the colors in here because I need to use this one next time, you know. This is very important. Okay, now I use the dark colors here with the round brush. You can see very interesting, warm colors, and I use strong pigment. Here I have a pigment. Yeah. I use a little bit blue. You can see this side, I use more blue, less brown. This side, I use more brown and blue. And this side, I use orange and yellow ochre. And you can see the three of the contrasts of the colors. I mix in the palette, and I can use the same time all the colors that I want. Yeah. Now here again, I use more blue. Again, more blue, brown. You can see how can I mix the colors together. And I use my palette very like this technique. The same time I have the colors very easy in my hand. Some brown and blue and orange to create the mountain texture, mountain details. With my finger, I can do fade, show the details. Good. And here again, I want to use more orange side. You can see I use the paper is dry, and I use very strong texture with the dry brush. You can see. No, in this side, if you want to show, you can see my reference, my painting that I did. For here, I use turquoise light. This is turquoise light is nice color, and I prefer to use. If you want to buy from Daniel Smith, is cobalt teal, the name of the color. This one is cobalt teal, but it's little bit more green colors, more turquoise. This is light turquoise from Shinhan brand. This is very good. I can mix these two colors, light turquoise and turquoise blue. This one. Yeah, I have this turquoise here. You can see when you mix this turquoise into the grasses, you can uh, create very interesting light to show the grasses. But I prefer to do the fade to show the grasses texture. Yeah, I add a little bit turquoise here. You can see slowly come down, and you can see different contrast between the grasses. I use warm colors, orange colors, burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and yeah, turquoise. In this side, I'm gonna to use lighter colors. I can use directly this orange here, or you can use orange and a little bit primary yellow, mix of orange and primary yellow. This colors show very interesting colors for the foreground. Yeah, this I prefer to use this color to show the foreground. Yeah, again, yellow and orange. It's very strong texture. Pigment, sorry, very strong pigment. For this side, again, orange and blue. You can see I use a all the time. I say this one, you should use a strong pigment. You can see here, very strong pigment. Yeah, blue and brown and orange. For this side, yes. Good subject and nice colors. I enjoyed a lot. I did this painting several times, and every time when I paint this subject, I enjoyed a lot. You can see interesting colors. Now with the fan brush, you can use a fan brush mix of brown, blue, orange, or you can use a little bit pink gray for this side to show the grasses or reeds in here. You can see very dry. Yeah, you can create this reeds in here. And I prefer to change my brush for this side of the boat. Yeah, this side, I don't want to show the light in this area, only here. Yeah, we use fan brush. You can see my fan brush is not very wet. It's not very wet. I add this reeds in here. Yeah, with this brush to paint the details, I prefer to use this round brush. Yeah. Here I have detail. You can see I use the tip of the brush to do this reeds. Yes. With a dry brush. Good. Brown and blue. Very strong pigment. Again, and here you can see this part I use very strong texture. Strong pigment. Yeah, a strong pigment. Here, the fan brush mix of brown and blue. Blue, you can see. Yeah, nice. Very nice texture. Good. The darkest part I add in this area, the background, in the here, this side, to show the boat. And this side, I use the dark colors. To paint the grasses, I use very strong pigment. And this time I'm going to add some details for the boat. I use cobalt blue and yeah, a little bit brown. Maybe it's good. Yeah, cobalt blue and brown in here. The details for the boat is important. Okay, I use more brown here. And yeah, actually the boat is here is dried and I can add this details with the round brush like this. Again, I use some details here. Yeah, blue and burnt umber, mix of ultramarine blue, cobalt blue and burnt umber. In this part, to show the water inside the boat, you can use a little bit burnt sienna and cobalt blue. This side, I prefer to add some grasses into the boat, like this. This part, show the boat. I use cobalt blue. At this part, a little bit tricky. You should do very good sketch to paint the boat. I hope you can do the perspective of the boat. And here is important. Use more warm colors. In here.
We have a comment from Carrie that your earlier example looked like you used sgraffito. Is that something you plan to do here, or has it already dried too much? Or are you waiting for the perfect drying when it comes to the sgraffito, so the scratching with the nail on the
Sorry,
grass?
I didn't understand. This part is very, when I use a strong pigment, it doesn't dry quickly. When
Okay,
I, yeah,
so do you
I know,
plan to
I
do
don't know.
this, the grass effect?
Sorry.
Do you plan to do the grass effect with the nail?
Yeah, at the end, I'm going to use the with a palette knife to show the grass here because when I use a strong pigment, it doesn't dry it quickly. Because of this, I have
Wow.
time to do this grasses, but the time is not good because I'm going to add the shadow for the boat. After that, I scratch the grasses to to create the grasses. When I add a shadow in the boat, and when I both the both colors are finished, I'm going to scratch to show the grasses, because I want to scratch some grass like here goes to inside the boat, and I should add a shadow inside the boat first. After that, I scratch the paper.
Thank you so much for that explanation.
Yeah,
Very
thank you.
helpful.
Yeah, but now I'm going to create the grasses text colors, and to create the some details for the grasses at the end. I will do that, not this time. Okay, now I add a little bit shadows here. Blue and brown, ultramarine blue and brown and orange, to create these dark colors. And you can see I use very strong texture, very strong pigment. This side. This part is very important. You know, the focal point, the painting started from here to here, and this perspective is very nice. One cloud's going to here, and this boat going to here. Very interesting perspective we're having here. Yeah, and some texture I add here. In this time, you should see your painting from far. Sometimes to finish the painting, you should see your painting from far to understand the contrast, to understand every perspective in your painting. Sometimes when you see your painting from far, it's very good to decide it for your technique. What do you want for future? You know, I use some reeds here with the round brush, or you can use liner brush to paint the reeds. You should use dry brush like this. Some reeds here, details here. I add mix of brown and blue. Yeah, you can use only turquoise again with the liner brush like this. Very nice turquoise mix of the orange and yellow ochre is very good colors. Very nice. And here again, I add some reds this side. Good. To add a little bit more shadow in this side. It's very important. The bottom of the boat is like more shadow we have. Yeah, some colors, and actually the grasses reflection maybe in the bottom of the boat. I let for the colors to come up. Yeah. Yes. Now you can see but this part is going to be very dry. Blue and brown. This side is like, it this, not very straight. Good. I said that the perspective of the boat is a little bit hard to do that. I hope you can paint it easily. Nice. Add a little bit brown and blue again here. Create some detail. Very strong. And also I add this part. Yeah. Good. This is a little bit brown. So good painting. I hope you like this today painting. It's very helpful to practice how you can control the strong colors, strong pigment, and yeah, to create the clouds, to show the contrast, perspective, and yeah, very, very nice. For example, the light from this, from foreground here, I use more brighter, more light, and to show the distance, I use a little bit warmer. You can see the contrast between the foreground and the background. The light is different, but I use a yellow ochre and permanent yellow for the foreground here more, and I use yellow ochre and orange for the distance. This is very good contrast. Now the time is good time to add a red, like with the finger or with the palette knife. You can see I add the shadow for the boat, and I did the shadow. And right now I can break this. If you want to scratch this part and the colors was dry, only keep the spray for and just spray little bit, spray water on this side. And after that, wait a little bit. And now you can scratch and the colors. Just don't scratch a lot because it's not interesting. Just the focal point, maybe this side. Let me spray again for here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Some reads like comes from here to here. Some reads like here to here, and some reads like here. Yes, this is my painting. Now, you can see the turquoise in this side, very nice light. If you want to show some flowers, but here we don't have a flower, just I explained to you, just splashing a little bit some turquoise here. It looks like the flowers or something texture, but it's pretty much I think, yeah. This is kind of the painting it's down. And yeah, this is a first thing practicing for today. I hope you like that. And if you have any questions for my painting or something, I'm okay to.
Thank you so much for sharing that process, and beautiful how you make all of these different colors work
Thank
so
you so much.
harmoniously. And I
Thank you
realized
so much.
that it looks very colorful, but when I analyze it, it is yellow, beige, and purple, turquoise, and brownish green. It's not so
Yeah.
many colors. You have chosen them wisely. It's not too many.
Yeah,
Would you agree? You don't have all the colors of
yeah,
the rainbow. You choose them consciously.
yeah. Most of the color is orange and blue, actually, most of the colors.
Yeah.
And to show the light for the sky and sea, I use lavender and Jean Valerian or raw sienna if you don't have a. To show the light, I use two colors, lavender and Jean Valerian or lavender and raw sienna for the light. And to paint the grasses, I use orange, yellow ochre, and to make it darker, you can use brown and blue, just this, and some turquoise to create very interesting colors, like to show the grasses light, only turquoise, just this, yeah.
Thank you so much. We have some comments in the chat here. We have Anne writing so beautiful! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And Mette says so beautiful, magic. Carrie says so nice, thank you. Patrick says very nice, like the subtle shifting colors. Ranjana says thanks so much for the lovely demo. Awesome. Awesome. Lauren says, yes, we can talk about that. Kian says, thank you, friends. Elisif says, so nice to see, and good tips as well. Thanks so much. And Francois says, I'm so admirative, so admire so much. And we have Mary saying, it's beautiful. We have Elisabeth saying, amazing. Kay saying, beautiful painting. Silvana saying, wonderful, thanks a lot. We have Anne saying, very nice demo. We have Carol saying, thank you, wonderful. Antoinetta saying, wonderful, beautiful, nice colors. Anu saying, great painting. Marie saying, thanks so much, so inspiring. Garop saying, thank you very much. I will try tomorrow slowly. That's a great idea. And Eva say, thank you, you're a very good teacher. Carrie says, thank you, amazing. Zainab Taskin says, awesome, thanks. Joanna says, so beautiful. Farida says, thank you for the demo. As usual, your paintings are beautiful. So inspiring, and such a fascinating use of colors and contrast, and also technique. And we can talk more about the specific questions that you have regarding. We will talk about the brushes again. I will ask a little bit about the wetness and the pigments. We will do all of that in the Q&A part. Before that, we first and foremost want to invite you to share with us if you paint along. Please feel free to share with us on Instagram using at Artefacto_school and hashtag paint_with_Artefacto, so we get to see your works and celebrate with you. And also, what you have just experienced is something very special, because all of a sudden we use technique, but it also turns into expression. And the brand new course Monochrome and Color Accents with Javid has just been released right now. And we want to invite you into this experience. We will also talk about the Javid collection in just a moment. So here is an overview of this brand new course, where you don't need to focus about hundreds of colors. Instead, we focus on tone, atmosphere, and color accents, so that you can paint these more challenging subjects, but with so much more ease. So this is not just about technique, it's also about learning to see light the way Javid sees it, depth before you even touch the brush, what to remove and what to keep, which is so crucial if we want to paint complex scenes without getting lost in the details, and also emotion inside a simple reference. So this doesn't just teach you how to paint for paintings, it gives you the ability to work with any reference, focusing on these different aspects that Javid teaches. So even the busy ones, even the unclear ones, and you can turn them into something calm, atmospheric, and truly your own. And magic, the way that Javid paints all of his artworks. So the course content is, first and foremost, we focus on monochrome depth and tonal contrast in this beautiful scene. You can see when you see them small, they're so impactful, and that's because the composition, the values, the focal points, the color accents, they are very well thought through, so they really work. We have the second one, Misty Waterways, Tranquil Atmosphere, and Old Bazaar of Isfahan, a study in light and texture, Harbor at Dusk, Monochrome Serenity, and Conclusion. And what you will be able to do after this is that you can simplify any complex reference into clear, elegant shapes, build depth and atmosphere through tonal design, decide what to remove, and what truly matters, and create your own interpretation instead of feeling that you have to try to copy photos, which is so difficult in watercolor. And also guide the viewer's eye with light, shadow, and one expressive accent, and paint with confidence, clarity, and intention every time. So that is our goal for us, for everyone who joins. And the learning process works like this. The lessons are stored at our course platform, so whenever you join this course, you can log in and access them from wherever you are, whenever you want, as long as you have an internet connection and login and password, so you can access it straight away and join and do it at your own pace. Small portions or large portions, do it one painting at a time or one part of a painting at a time in your pace, making sure that it works for you and your schedule. And if you're currently experiencing some buffering or quality issues, that is because this is being live streamed, and that will not be the case with the lessons in this course. And also you can do this, you can pause whenever you want to, and you can always go back and watch it again and again. We also have a beautiful community where students support each other every day, where people have become really good friends, and this community is moderated by a dedicated professional community manager and our support team. So that is also open for you whenever you join this course. We also have the option of getting written feedback on your works from our professional curator in the premium plan. So then you will have someone who watches your progress and is there cheering you on and sharing with you what you're doing great and what you can focus on to improve your painting. So that's a beautiful aspect of the premium plan. And this is a person who has also formal education, professional with years of experience in art, and trained to provide feedback and critique. And all of our curators are super supportive in their communication and will never leave you behind. And if you choose the premium plan, you will also receive a certificate of completion that you can use to share with the world that you have learned from Javid. So here are the plans and the absurd Black November prices that we have right here. And as you can see, all of them have so wonderful content in them and a perfect price. So if you want to learn more from Javid, this is the time to do that. And we're going to talk more about what Javid's Ultimate Collection includes now. So if you feel that you really want to join this course, then the standard plan or the premium plan, if you also want written feedback, are a good fit for you if you want to learn even more, or if you're interested in seeing what Javid also teaches, then let's take a look at Javid's Ultimate Collection. So we have 5 courses all in all for only $249. And they cover so many subjects. So let's explore what's inside. So first and foremost, we have the brand new course, Monochrome and Color Accents. We have already talked about that, so you can see what that is all about. We also have watercolor landscapes and cityscapes expressing the essence. And we see there's so much contrast, there are so many different subjects, there is so much texture, there are so many more elements in this, Javid. I don't even know how to explain this course. Can you help me?
Yeah, actually, we have a different subject in the course: how to paint a snowy scene, how to paint a uh, reflection, trees reflection in the water, how to paint a cityscape in the rainy day, in the night, how to paint a sunlight in the landscape or urban space in the bazaar. We have a different technique, and yeah, these are very interesting experience for you, because to show for example, to show the snow, which color is good, to show the rainy day, how how much water you need to use for your paper, for your colors, to show the reflection, trees reflection in the water. Yeah, how you can use the colors, how much pigment you need to use. I explain a lot. Like today painting, I explain in the palette, in your brush, in the paper, and it's very helpful for practice. I say I try to explain very simple way to paint, step by step. I don't want to paint very difficult technique. And maybe you see I paint um, like a simple way. And I'm sure I have a lot of experience for my students. I'm sure you can do. Just practice and don't afraid to paint with me. Yeah.
Absolutely. You make it welcoming for everyone, and such an amazing course. This course in itself, I think it's like a collection in itself because there are so many aspects. And then we have something for Black November. This is perfect if you want to invite more winter feelings in. So wherever you are, if you want to romanticize some snow, this is the course for you. So winter wonders in watercolor, capturing snowy landscapes, and see how beautiful watercolor works with landscapes and subtle colors, different blues in combination with different yellows. We have the shadows, we have different weathers, and a beautiful light in all of these. So this is perfect if you want to invite that winter wonderland feeling into your life, and you use the watercolor technique so beautifully here, Javid, to make it look so magical. And I also know that you make the painting process look so simple in these. Super impressive. And since we have several more, I'm gonna jump to this one and let you share information about the course Romantic City and Perspective. And here again, we focus on a very potentially complex scene, but you make it easy. Can you share a little bit about this particular course?
Actually, to paint a perspective, some people have a lot of the problem to paint perspective. I explain very simple perspective. You can see I didn't add the details for my perspective, and actually I explain the colors and the pigment that you need to use for the create the texture for the perspective, and which detail is important for as a focal point for your painting. And yes, I explain for the details for the painting. Yeah, this is actually a very good practice to learn the cityscape. Yeah, for painting.
And what I think when I see this is that this complements the new course so good, because that is more about monochrome and a bit stylish. And here in this one, there is so much color and vibrancy. So it gives us several choices when it comes to interpreting cityscapes. So that is so beautiful. And
Actually,
then,
warm colors. I use a lot of warm colors for the create that.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And speaking of colors and warm colors and saturated, beautiful, vibrant colors, we also have the very first course that Javid did with Artefacto, which is perfect if you want an introduction to his technique and his approach. And if you feel that, oh, this was a bit much, all of this that we have just shared, this is the perfect starting point, because this is all about magical landscapes, and it is so beautiful. It really teaches you Javid's specific technique, his balance between water and pigment, and how simply we can create so beautiful paintings in watercolor with Javid. So if you want the entire journey that you can choose to take step by step, and perhaps starting with this one and then moving on to the one that feels like the next step for you, this collection is like a whole journey that takes you through different subjects using Javid's technique. And if you want to learn how to paint vibrant landscape, this is the one. If you want to focus on monochrome, stylish urban landscapes, then the new course is the perfect one. And then we have these others that teach you different things. So the collection is just a whole journey with Javid through watercolor and different subjects. So beautiful. And together I just said this, it forms a complete journey. And this is the full Javid experience. We highly recommend it because we at Artefacto love Javid and his teachings, and because our students love it and get so great results. So this is the one that I personally am cheering for the most because it's such a beautiful journey and it's so much value. We also actually have +5 additional video lessons by Javid, which are all about afternoon and evening scenes. So here you can expand with even 5 more paintings. So it's a big journey. And as you can see, there's more urban scenes and lots of shadows here. We have the afternoon colors of this bright, vibrant scene. We have the night colors of this one, the beautiful landscape, vibrant landscape color of a sunset, and this tranquil, beautiful landscape scene. So this is just like a complete course in itself also. And that is right now, during this particular launch. Those are included in the collection. So our goal here is to offer you a meaningful and inspiring learning experience that brings you into the heart of Javid's tonal and atmospheric approach. And our hope is that you'll learn to create paintings with more clarity, more emotion, shaping tone, simplifying complex scenes, using light and subtle accents to express mood rather than detail, and grow your confidence and calm, develop not only technique, but also a personal artistic voice that feels like your own. And Javid really teaches in a way that transcends technique and enters atmosphere, mood, and uses technique to enhance those things. So here we have an overview once more, and now you know how much value is in the Javid Ultimate Collection. You can feel which one is the right fit. So if you wanna join the new course, if you already have taken Javid's other courses, then of course the standard and the premium is gonna be the perfect fit for you. If you're interested in urban landscapes with this monochrome focus, then the standard and premium plan are perfect. And if you want the whole experience, then we welcome you to join Javid's Ultimate Collection that we have right now during this Black November launch. And the button to join is below the screen. You can scroll down and find a turquoise button. It actually says join the course. And we also have a guarantee. So if after a couple of lessons, within a couple of weeks after purchase, you realize that this is not going to give you the results that you want, just write us an email and you will get your money back. And if you still have doubts, let's take a look at some questions that you might have. So one of them is, what if I don't have a lot of time to paint? This looks like a lot. You don't need a lot of time when you paint with Javid, because his lessons are short, clear, very focused, usually around 30 to 50 minutes each. So you can finish one full chapter in one sitting and make real progress even on busy days. You can also split it up and do the first half and then let it dry on one day, and then come back whenever you have that other 20-30 minutes and finish it. So that's beautiful if you want to paint watercolor and you want to learn how to do that without it taking up several days for one painting. Then Javid's course will save you time in the long run. Do you feel, will the course be too fast, too hard for me? Our experience is that Javid teaches slowly and calmly, and each lesson is recorded with step-by-step pacing. And you can also pause, you can rewind, you can rewatch at any time, and you can learn at the rhythm that feels comfortable for you. What if I struggle with simplifying scenes or choosing what matters? And of course, this is what Javid will teach you, so you don't need to know that before you start. So here you will learn Javid's step-by-step way of learning of removing noise, keeping the essential shapes, building calm, expressive compositions, even from busy references. And Javid, I must say, he's a genius at taking a reference and then completely transforming it and interpreting it in a very artistic way. So if that's a skill you want to learn, he's a very good teacher for exactly that. He shows you how to do that. Do I need special materials or a large setup? You don't need a lot of materials or a large setup because Javid paints with a small set of brushes and paints, and you can also, of course, use whatever you already have. Do I need anything special to learn online? Well, you of course need something to paint with and paint on. So you need to, if you want to learn to paint watercolor, you will need more watercolor materials, and you will need some kind of device with an internet connection and 30 to 50 minutes of free time now and then. And most importantly, the desire to grow. So if you have that, then you have what you need to join and thrive in this context. So the beautiful thing about learning online is that we get to learn from masters from all around the world. And it's so much cheaper than going to their studios, flying to their studios and learning from them on location. And we can also make it work for our schedule. And we have lifetime access to these courses, so you can very easily fit it into your life. And we can make friends from all around the world. So warmest welcome to join if you feel inspired and you want to continue exploring this beautiful watercolor world with Javid. And now it's time for the Q&A. And I'm going to start with a question that we received a few times, and that was, could you please repeat what brushes you are using? So I'm going to show this one again so we get to see your beautiful artworks. And could you explain what brushes you're using once more, please?
Yes. Most of the time I use a calligraphy brush, this calligraphy brush. And
Is it from a particular brand that we can find?
Yeah, if you want to find a particular brand, is Rohan brand. It's very, very good quality of the brush. I don't know, you can see the brand. It is a Rohan brand, and I recommend you this brush, Fumio, and this one is a good quality if you want to prepare. Actually, some of the calligraphy brushes, like the Chinese, they wrote the Chinese, and I don't know the name of the brand, but this is I know this is very, very, very special brush. If you want to use very good quality, this one I suggest you.
Thank you.
Rohan brand. And the fan brush, I use this fan brush. Actually, the Rohan brand have the different quality of like the fan brush and calligraphy brush, round brush, flat brush. The Rohan make all, but I use this one, round brush. The fan brush is very good quality. Number 2, Rent brand EF2000 fan brush. This the quality of the hair is fantastic. Yeah, and also the rigger brush you can use like Da Vinci brand, Scuda brand, or cheaper brand you can buy from the store. Some brand have like cheaper, and you can use. This is from Tintorito brush. It's very good quality actually. Tintorito brush. I will show you the biggest one. This one, the made from France, Tintorito. It's very good quality brush if you want to prepare. And yeah, and also round brush. You can use number 6, number 2, number 4. These are brushes enough for painting. Actually, if you want to paint the big size brush, you can buy like this kind of brush. If you want to use the big size, the flat brush, round brush, the Heron brand have a different or EO brand. The EO brand from Korea. I will show you. This brand from Korea. This is very good brush. I introduce all of the brush that in the uh, world you can buy, and this is a EO. This is very good quality of the brush. If you want to have a all set of the brush, yeah, you have a lot of color brushes that you need for the big size, for the small size. Yeah, the EO brand. But 5 brush is enough for the painting. You don't need to have a lot of this, like my brush.
That
Yeah.
was a complete lesson on brushes. Thank you so much for that. We had a question where you could share your artworks if you painted along, and here we have that. So you can take a photo of this, or you can simply just type in Artefacto on Instagram, and you will find how you can tag Artefacto. So let's see if there are any more questions. We had a question from Anne. Can you please be more specific, Anne, so I understand if you're talking about the brands or the brand or the specific colors? We also had a question, which I think is a very good question, and that is, when you painted this one, you chose to do the sketch of the boats after the first layer, whereas many artists do all of the sketching before they start painting. Why did you choose to first paint the first layer and then sketch the boats?
Yeah. This is a good question, actually. Sometimes when you see the lot of detail, a lot of sketch in your painting, you're scared about how I can start. Because of this, I did a simple line for the sky and for the river. And I didn't care about the boat perspective. Because of this, I show you very simple sketch. Yes, you can do it. Just practice, just do it. I did only sky and river, and after dawn, I did the sketch. It's good choosing for me for explaining the painting. But if you want to if you want to do a sketch all thing, it's good. It's up to you. But for the explanation, it's good way for explain for the practice. I did this one. This one after that I do a sketch. Yeah, step by step I did it.
Could you please spell the Rohan calligraphy brush for us, or show us what it looks like so we can spell it for you? For Anne is asking about this particular.
Actually, the brand, is the Chinese, and the market is this. Rohan is a very good company.
We have someone writing in the chat that is Ruhong. Is that the correct spelling? Ruhong?
Rohan. I'm so sorry, I don't have any from him. Rohan. Sorry, I can't. I'm not sure.
No.
Not
So
sure.
Patrick said that, and we also had another person writing Ruhong. So that is what I think is the brand of the calligraphy brushes. And then the fan brush was Herrend.
Yeah, Herrend or EO. I suggest you can.
Oh, we had another person writing Ruhong. Ruhong.
Yeah, this is a good, and EO. This is this one. This very good.
Great. We have some different
From
options.
Korea.
Thank you so much for that. We had a question now from Farida, and I think that this is a great question because many of us experience that paint dries so much faster when we paint in comparison to when the teacher or the master paints. And Farida asks, did you wet the paper at all before you started painting? Or was it
Mhm.
completely dry?
It's depend on the subject that you want to paint.
But
For
this one,
example, for this one, no, the paper was dried,
yeah,
completely dry. And yeah, sometimes if you want to keep your paper wet for a long time, you want to paint a seascape or like a sunset scene, you need to keep your paper for wet for a long time. Yes, we do wet on wet technique. You can put the water both sides of your paper. But for this painting, I do directly the dry paper because I want to paint part by part.
yeah.
And because of this, I did it. Yeah.
And one thing that surprises me when I watch you paint, it is that in my brain, it says if you want it to stay wet long, you need to use wet paint. But you use much, much pigment and a little
Yeah.
bit of water, and it still stays wet long because it doesn't
Yeah.
dry. It doesn't, you paint it dries. It stays wet, it stays wet, it stays wet, it stays wet, it stays or moist, 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 moist. Can you explain, does it stay wet longer if you use much water, or does it stay
Mhm.
wet longer when you use much pigment? I don't
You know,
understand when you
uh,
paint.
for example, I started to paint the sky. I add Jean Brilliant and burnt and lavender to paint the sky. I did strong pigment with the water. Okay, my paper was wet. This part of the paper was wet for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Exactly.
And before dry the paper, I did this strong pigment on it. Because I understand I have a 5 minute time to dry this part. And before dry that, I add these clouds here. And again, I did the same technique here. I did a strong pigment with the water, not dry, only colors. Strong pigment, it means half water and half pigment. Some people use a lot of water and little bit pigment. When I say the strong pigment, I mean you should use a half water, half pigment. If I say very, very strong, it means yes, dry pigment and dry
Yeah.
brush. For this part, I use the half water, half pigment. And when I add this pigment here close together, it wasn't dried quickly. Yeah, this happened. You should do the painting. You should have your experience because sometimes you use a big paper. The experience is different. When you use in the sun, for example, you're going to do the plein air in outside. The experience is completely different because the weather was right your paper quickly. And because of this, you should practice and step by step you understand what time is good to do the second layer, what time is good to do, for example. Yeah, this is.
Ooh, thank you so much. And we have Vicky saying Ru Hong. I speak Chinese, so the name is Ru Hong. So that is in the chat now. R-U and then Hong. Thank you, everyone who helps each other in the chat. It's very beautiful to see how everyone is like helping each other out with writing down the names of everything you have shared. So good collaboration there. And let's see if we have any more questions. I think I've answered, we have spoken about the most important ones. And I don't know if we have any pressing questions more than that.
Yes, I explain about the paper if we have a time.
Yeah,
Some
please.
people say I use a not good quality paper, and they saw the problem from the painter. I suggest you if you want to paint good painting, please use good material. And the paper is very important. Actually, very important. Arches paper, Sanders paper, Winsor Newton paper. Sometimes when if you want to do like the perspective, sometimes I use a ballhand paper. The ballhand paper in these days is very popular in the market. Yes, but ballhand paper is not good for the wet on wet technique. It's my idea. Maybe some artists say it's good for the wet on wet, but I prefer to use artist paper, Sanders paper, Winsor Newton paper, Honeymuller paper. These are really good paper.
Yeah. And is it
Yeah,
correct that you use, I typed that into the chat now, that you use 140 pounds or the
and
300 grams? Is that correct?
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think we did it. We before 2 hours. You shared so much today, Javid. It was such a beautiful process.
Thank you so much.
And such an incredible offer happening right now in this celebratory November, Black November. So, and I saw several people have joined, and we welcome to those of you who are still here who have joined. And if you want to join, you know what to do. There will be a link, join the course link there that you can use. And we look forward to seeing how the process goes, both when you paint this piece and share that with us that we did today, and also, of course, when you join the course and share those images with us. Do you have any final words, Javid? And before I say that, thank you so much for sharing so much today with us. Do you have any final words for the participants before we say goodbye?
I did some painting before, for example, the snowy thing. This one I did last night, and yeah, this is my last painting that I did. And actually, I was in uh, Indonesia some days, some week ago, and I did this subject for the planet. These are my painting that I did in these days. Yeah, I
So
hope
beautiful.
you like the paintings.
We had a question about the colors. So in the standard course, the new course, what colors do we need to join? We have a question there from Anne.
The brand of the color.
Or I actually don't know if it's about the brand or about the
The name
specific
of the
colors.
color.
But as soon as you join, of course, there will be material and material is there. Is it the
Yeah.
same colors that you used today that you have in the course?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Is it the
I
same
did
colors that you use here today, or will there be other colors in the standard, in the new monochrome course?
the same colors. The monochrome. Actually I use primary colors for my
Not
painting.
colors. So do you mean the brand, Anne? Can you please specify
Yeah,
that?
the same brand. I use the Shinhan brand and Daniel Smith brand.
Yeah. There are lots, we have mentioned that lots of times. Photos. And I actually don't understand. If there are any questions that we have not been able to answer, don't hesitate to ask our team. They are there to support you. So you can always send a DM on Instagram or write us an email or share a question in the WhatsApp support. So if there were any questions that weren't answered, just make sure to write to our team and they will support you with that. So now I think it's time to wrap up and use this inspiration in any way that works for you, and remember the vibrancy that Javid has shared with us, and I hope you're excited to explore that in your own painting. And thank you so much to everyone who joined, and to you, Javid. It was beautiful to watch you paint and to spend this time with all of you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you,
Bye
Tanya.
bye.